Hello, soulpath family. Welcome to this week's Astro Energy Report and three-card tarot spread. Also, earlier I recorded something that I'm going to start a new podcast called Tooth and Claw. It's totally unedited and raw and somewhat unhinged and definitely going to be offensive. That I will have a card here somewhere you can click to take you to that playlist if it resonates. It might not. It might just piss you off, and that's okay too. Let that be information for you. So let's talk about the Astros. This week is pretty nice, actually. We've got Mercury sextiling Jupiter on the 13th. Then it's Cazimi the Sun on the 14th. So communication is really amplified. This is a great time to be marketing yourself if you are self-employed or if you're looking for a new job or if you're dating or there's some reason why you need to be putting yourself out there. This is an absolutely beautiful week, very supportive towards that end. There's a new moon in Taurus on the 16th. New moons are stainless moments of new beginnings. This whole weekend, actually, the May long is absolutely a beautiful, friendly, nourishing, playful, high vibe kind of weekend, which is great because I'm going away for the weekend, driving to BC, which I'm very excited about to see family, um, and to see my favorite places on the island that I miss so much. It's a bit of a reclamation and a completion around my divorce. So, I share these little tidbits of my life because I like how it plays into showing how the astrology lands in real life, like in tangible, practical ways. So this weekend is really good for communicating and for connecting and for having positive interactions in those connections. Yeah, I mean, there's more. The whole week is pretty busy, but let's just essentially keep it there. And on the new moon on the 16th, I always invite people with the moons, with the full moon and the new moon, to do a little ritual. Take a minute to pause in your daily doings and connect back with your own impulses, with your own breath. Notice that our own bodies are very cyclical, like the moon, that nature herself has these cycles. And when we start to align ourselves with our natural cycles and with the greater, more like global, so there's our natural cycles. If you're a woman, that would be tied to your moon time. If you're not a woman, then it's still with the moon. You can track the moon, and there are periods of time for growth, and there's periods of time for introspection and to slow down. New moons are the stainless moment right before we begin to create new things. This is the planting moment. So what would you like to plant? Maybe you have some exciting career plans for yourself. Maybe you have some self-concept that you want to start to really bring forward into the world, a new way of presenting, a new way of being. That's personal to me. I'm definitely making strides towards being more forthright, more obvious in my inner expression, and just trusting that the right people will find me and the people that no longer fit will drop away effortlessly. I don't have to create fights about it. It'll just be a thing. That's my persona or my identity, that facet of myself that I want to bring online. New moons are a beautiful time to connect with that. What's the most alive for you? What wants to become expressed in you, especially with all this Mercury energy that we have going on this week? Mercury loves about expression. So what inside you wants to be expressed? What art is in you that wants to come out? What boundaries have you been avoiding owning? What is it within you that's ready to come out? What yeses do you have that want you to just claim them, just fully claim the hell yes? And what no's do you have that need you to root in and really deeply honor and respect that no? That would be the energy this week. Okay, let's jump into the cards. Honestly, I'm sorry, you guys, I don't feel like doing a meditation, so I'm not gonna fucking do it. Here's your card choices. Why do I keep feeling the sky's gonna fall when I'm honest? Okay, here we go. Card one, card two, card three. Give you a minute to select from those. Card one. Card one, we have the Nine of Cups reversed, So when it's upright, it's wishes granted. But when it's reversed, this sometimes is drawing our attention to inner happiness. But maybe, like, have you been really focused on material gains, thinking that's going to make you happy, but it doesn't? And I'm going to offer another one here because I've been given that message my whole life. Oh, things won't make you happy. Being focused on outer trappings doesn't make you happy. You can't buy happiness. So this is like a message that's been like deeply ingrained in me. I am actually discovering, inviting in the idea that, yes, sometimes physical trappings are really pleasurable and fun. It doesn't form my fundamental worthiness, but it's so lovely to have pretty things and to buy nice clothes and to do your makeup and to like decorate and to have a clean home and to like, have what my ex used to call attitude money. So having some little extra money, like maybe your particular lesson hasn't been that you've been too outwardly focused. Maybe it's that you've been wanting to be outwardly focused and you haven't been letting yourself. And so this card, whether it's because you've been too much one way or too much the other, the invitation is, where have you been misdirecting? Where are you not happy that you've been not letting yourself explore because you've been mentally telling yourself that it won't make you happy if you explore it? This card's like, go ahead and explore it. That's my interpretation of it this week. Go ahead and explore whatever it is that you want to, that you have historically not let yourself, or where you've had judgments around it. In fact, I invite you to really be considered, like really consider where you have historically held judgment, and try on, at least mentally, what it would be like if you stopped judging others for that and adopted it instead. And maybe you don't actually do it, but like as a thought experiment, maybe you really judge people who drive super slow. So maybe the invitation here is, well, what would it be like if I drove super slow? Like, what if I give myself a chance to just try that on instead of judging people who I perceive as being slow and not paying attention and kind of like, in their own bubble? Maybe I need to practice that for a little bit, right? So when a card shows up reversed, there's often an invitation to internalize or to do the opposite. So, and another, with that in mind, if this is wish is granted upright, maybe here's an opportunity for you to grant somebody else their wish. Maybe the happiness that you're seeking and the fulfillment that you're longing for that you haven't been able to touch yet is because instead of it being you feeding yourself something, if that's what you've been doing, maybe now the invitation is for you to feed somebody else. So give that a shot. The whole thing here is to be playful and to just try something new and to do what you've forbidden yourself from doing. Like, become curious. Become curious. And if you've been overly flexible, then become rigid as fuck. I mean, whatever. But just like play with the edges, play with the opposites, and see what arises for you. See what life emerges from a new way of approaching things. Okay, card number 2. Here you go. 2 of Pentacles, also reversed. So another perspective change. This sometimes tells us that we have been taking on more than we can handle, that our light-footedness, our capacity to pivot, is about to come crashing down. And that actually aligns with the third card too. In fact, all 3 of these cards, maybe you've been chasing the wrong things. And in doing that, you've been sort of like, maybe you've been chasing material goods and you've been using credit to pay for it. And that's about to blow up in front of you. This is the Tower card. I'll get into that one. Where are you overdoing it? Where are you out of alignment, out of balance? Maybe you're trying to not feel your feelings and to just plow through something, because I say feelings because we've got the waves. Like, this is, you see how the ships are on the wave and he's just like rolling with the punches, sort of say. Reverse is like not rolling with the punches. Where are you rigid? Where are you not pivoting? Or maybe you've been pivoting where you need to stop pivoting. right? And if you're not sure if it's all like confusing or whatever, it's like, okay, well, fear not card 3, tower, the universe, because the tower card, when it's upright, this is coming out of left field. This isn't you instigating it, or at least it doesn't seem like you are. This is when things feel like they're coming out of left field and fucking it all up. What you thought you knew, where you thought you were going, what you thought was happening blows up, but it blows up for your best intention. It's messy, but it's a good kind of mess. There's an energy around this, all three of them, when you take them in, that something is about to shift and change. Maybe it's an old calcified belief system that has kept you safe historically, that you're blowing up or gets blown up. Maybe something that you've said or done, someone finds out about it and then it blows something up. Maybe you say something that is against a good friend's belief system, let's say, and then they hear about it. So maybe you've never really said directly to them that you disagree with something that they hold near and dear, that's a sacred cow to them, but you actually disagree with it fundamentally. And then they finally, through a grapevine, hear about that and then approach you, and maybe the relationship collapses because it's an untenable disconnect or something. That would be like an example of the tower card at play. And in fact, it would be a use of all three of these, where it's like, I've been faking what I really feel and think and what matters to me in attempt to keep the peace and juggle these two different worlds, mine and the other person's. But shit, they heard about what I said, and now they're confronting me and they don't want to be my friend anymore because I'm one of those people. But it turns out that that friendship was dead or dying and needed to go anyway to make room for a better friendship or better connections. That would be an example of how those cards work together in real life. Would love to hear how it might land for you. If you want a reading, you know where to find me. The link to my calendar is in the description of the video, as well as in a pinned comment. I do encourage you, if you feel like you want to be invited into my inner world a little bit, that is unfiltered and in no way, shape, or form is it trying to be politically correct or socially acceptable. You can find that. Like I said, it's called Tooth and Claw. It's a playlist that you can find on the channel somewhere. And I don't know how to put the card in, but if I can, I'll put the link into one of these corners for you to just go directly to that playlist if it intrigues. Anyway, know that I love you. Enjoy this week. And as always, we'll see you. No, we won't, because I'm going to be in BC. So I will not see you next Tuesday, but I'll see you the Tuesday after. Bye for now.